Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to yet another video of Ed's Moto Mindset. Today we're going to talk about 5 things I don't like about my Honda VFR 1995 Gen 4 model. The previous video was about 5 things I do like and love about my Honda VFR, and these are 5 things I don't like. First of all, I bought the machine, so of course I'm biased and of course I love the machine, but there are always little things that that could be better on the bike. So, thing in no particular order. The first thing that came to mind when I say I don't like anything about this beautiful machine is the headlight. The headlight unit, it's an old yellow thing. If it's dark outside, you can't see anything. It's really very dark. I think it would help drastically if you add LED head bulbs in there. But still, the design is it's too light, and it's better to just have, in my opinion, for a motorcycle to have one center light. That looks better than 2 lights, one on the left and one on the right. Let's see if we can see it in the reflection of this blue car. It's not really visible, but you can trust me. It's an old machine, and that is mainly the reason. But it also has a very old light bulb. Well, maybe the age of the light bulb is not old, but the technique is very old and it's very yellow, which is yeah, a little bit of a shame. So numero uno is the headlight unit. I would love to have a LED version, or maybe a centralized single headlight unit, as in the middle, no, in the left one light and the right one light. If someone knows how you can build that in, please let me know. Okay, the second thing I don't like about my VFR is braking, the sensation of braking. So that needs a little bit of explaining. The bike brakes perfectly, you know, the braking calibers, so help me. Brake pads, no. The brake discs are replaced, but the caliper that pushes the brake pad to the brake disc, that is also replaced because it was also broken. But that's not what I mean. The problem is, it brakes fine, as I mentioned, but it feels very squishy, and I think that this is not really a VFR problem, but an old bike problem. Traditionally, brake lines are from rubber. Rubber gets softer over time. They expand a little, and there's oil inside the tube, the rubber tube. And when you brake, the oil gets pushes somewhere to put the brake pad to the brake disc by the caliper. And when bikes get older, these lines get more flexible, which results in a sensation that it feels squishy. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but it just feels a little squishy. And the only thing you can basically do about it is buy steel brake lines, which I have on my wish list for my birthday for over a year now, but nobody gave me. So the second reason is the brake feeling, which is a bit squishy, oldish, and as I mentioned, it brakes perfectly, but it's just a feeling, sensation of braking. The third one, and that is has something to do with the age. If you're counting 3 out of 3 items, it has to do something with the age, and this is a carburetor. In that time, injection engines were very new, to the table, but this engine is still carbureted, which have oh, now you can see the light. You see the yellowish light in the reflection of the Discovery, the Land Rover Discovery. Behind me is a newer car with the white light, which I like way more. But so that was light. So the carburetor gives a few problems, which is durability is basically the word I'm looking for. So they get out of sync sometimes, and you have to re-sync them, which is a hell of a job. Everything has to come off. You need special equipment to do it. Some stores don't even do it because it's pretty difficult. Carbureted bikes are getting rarer and rarer, so eventually nobody knows how to do it. But I got 2 bikes in my 2 years of riding, and both of them needed to get synchronized. So the clocks of the carburetor, the clock system of the carburetor was fine, and everything runs smooth. So that is one part. The second part, in a carburetor there are a lot of small plastic parts, and they get old pretty soon, pretty roughly. So this bike actually got an overflowing carburetor once, which was the reason for synchronization, but that was because some parts were just dried out and just hanging and not operating smoothly, which gives a lot of issues, accelerating and keeping speeds and stuff like that. So I needed to replace the inner parts, all the parts of the Polizei or ambulance, I'm not sure. I need to replace a few parts inside the carburetor, which is expensive and time consuming. It's police. And thirdly, because it's a plastic mechanism with plastic parts, you really shouldn't tank the cheapest gas. Basically the gas stays there, it will dry out the plastic much sooner than the more expensive gas, and your carburetor just so we're braking here, okay. The carburetor will get damaged a lot easier and a lot faster with cheaper gas, and I mean lower, higher octane or lower octane, I'm not sure. There we go. So that is the third reason I really don't like a carburetor. If it was up to me, I would love to have this bike with an injection engine, which is more precise, more reliable and less dependent on small mechanical parts. So numero 4. As you've heard in the video I like about the VFR, is the great comfort at longer rides, and still pretty sporty at shorter rides, but in my taste the suspension is a bit too soft, and it's not adjustable, so you can't make it more or less soft as you wish, or if you're a heavier rider, which is odd, I think. But yeah, so I don't really like the fact that you can't change the stiffness in your suspension, or at least I'm not sure how, and it's by default pretty weak. You can humble, which makes it comfortable, don't get me wrong, but it will give you a little less comfort in tight corners and stuff like that. And the last thing I don't like about my VFR, and I'm really thinking what again it was. It was hard to find 5 things I don't like my VFR, but I found them anyway. So we talked about the front light, we talked about the carburetors, we talked about the brake lines, or less the brake feeling. We talked about damn, I forgot. Yeah, you guys can't help me. I will read the comments after this video. Oh, we talked about the suspension. And the fifth thing, let me think. It's not the mileage, it's actually pretty good. I've driven this machine 1 kilometers, 1 liter every 20 kilometers. So that's pretty decent considering the age. It's definitely not the engine. I'm just buying myself time here because I can't really remember. But there was a fifth thing I don't really like about this bike. I will buy myself some time to tell you about everything you need to know. So if you've seen this video, if you like it, please leave a like down below. If you have a question or a comment, or if you have anything you don't find enjoyable on your VFR, please let me down below. Share the video, it will drastically help it increase the channel. And oh, maybe a very important side note, I wish to make this channel completely advertisement free, but to do that I either need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 view hours, which is pretty difficult, I would say. So only you guys can help me out with that. Oh, of course, I remember. The fifth thing I don't like about the VFR is the voltage regulator. This engine gets very, very hot, which is normal, but it gets very hot. And one of the side effects about that is a very hot ass, but I can handle. But something else is the voltage regulator, which is positioned under your seat. Dies pretty easy on this bike. They are a very common thing to break, and I replaced this one almost a year ago already, and I replaced it with a non-Honda original with more cooling, because it's just known to go bad and get you some extra costs you don't want to. So to sum everything up, all the other parts of this video I already did. The front lights, I don't really like the amount of light it gives and the design of it. The brake pressure is fine, but the feeling about it is a little squeezy. The suspension is non-tunable, is non-adaptable, and is pretty soft. It's fine for longer rides, but for sharper rides it could be a little tougher. The voltage regulator dies pretty soon. It's pretty known to break down. I know one other VFR rider who always has a spare one under his seat, which is a little bit extra in my opinion, but you never know. And now I forgot one more. I'm so bad at this kind of things. I should probably mention it on my screen and just read it from the screen, but it feels less natural to me to do that. Anyway, if you find this video helpful, please let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao!